someone like you who's fairly or unfairly got the tag of being this very classical, correct batsman, what kind of adjustment did you have to make when T20 first arrived?
Yeah, it was interesting, I suppose, because T20 grew from the area that we're currently in. You're kind of learning firsthand rather than perhaps from the players gone by, and it was still really interesting to watch players try and skin it different ways. And you've got guys that hit it sort of 130 metres, and then you've got other players, and you're trying to find out what it is that you need to add to your game to be effective. And you practice that and you're challenged by that every day. But for me, it was certainly about trying to adapt the game that I have and use the strengths that I have, and then also add a few more shots into the mix to help with perhaps the strike rate side of things.
In India, some of us saying that for 9 months you teach people to take their foot to the pitch of the ball, and for the other 3, take it as far away from the pitch as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you do explore so many different things with your game because of T20 cricket, and I think it's been wonderful for the game of cricket in general. So to the other formats, it's pushed cricket to new heights, and players are always exploring different shots, trying to get better. Things are happening harder and faster, and it's exciting.
Were there batting heroes in New Zealand growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I always used to love watching the New Zealand team play, and a lot of guys that I used to really enjoy watching growing up soon sort of played with, the likes of Dan Vittori and Brendan McCullum, various players like that. But I used to really enjoy watching the Indian team play, who I was fortunate to play in my debut with the likes of Tendulkar, Dravid, Laxman, Sehwag Gambhir, all these sorts of players that have been around for a long time and world class, and so I always really admired those players.
This is something that won't happen in New Zealand, will it? The
No.
call to prayer?
No,
No, we'll keep going. We'll keep. And then sort of almost finished your skill playing for Yorkshire, didn't you? Playing in England.
Yeah, I mean,
when everyone was playing T20 cricket, you were actually perfecting the longer form of the game in England.
learning.
Or perfecting?
Learning, I would say. I loved my time at Yorkshire, and I'd certainly love to go back if I have the opportunity at some point in time.
What did it change for you? Because we've seen a couple of Indian players, Zaheer Khan in particular, took the responsibility of playing that game and came back a different player purely for taking the responsibility of being the overseas player.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of parts to, I guess, being an overseas player, but going there, those sorts of responsibilities are a part of that. But putting yourself into a new environment and allowing yourself to grow and learn is all very important. So you go over into the English conditions, and the wickets do quite a bit and the ball swings a lot, and you have to come up with a different method than perhaps you're used to after you might have been playing one-day cricket in India. So it is very different. You do have to think on your feet, and you're playing so much as well. The volume of cricket over there, I think it's sort of 16 4-days in a season plus all the other formats. So there's not a huge amount of practice that goes on, and it requires you to adopt a fairly philosophical mindset around it, because you're always having to front up day in, day out, whether you'd scored some the day before or you hadn't.